giving, he relapsed on fentanyl, actually. Well, he does fentanyl and all kinds of other things, but fentanyl was the killer, I guess, the big one. And he overdosed at the house right here on Friday the 13th, which is a trip in November. And he was watching the kids for me that day. And I was driving back to my house, and I got a call from my 15-year-old, 14 at the time. She said dad collapsed in the backyard. So he had done whatever he'd done, smoked it, I don't know, in the backyard in front of the two younger boys, his other son and my son. And collapsed and overdosed, and I found him foaming at the mouth and blue and wasn't breathing. And I got the kids in the room. I called 911. They talked me through how to do the. Thankfully, I got here. The timing was perfect, but I had to bring him back to life. It was very traumatic. And then after that, we didn't see him throughout the whole holidays. So it was very go, go, go. And I didn't get a chance to really process the pain of that. So I'm dealing with quite a bit of PTSD, I've noticed, this last few weeks leading up to that time. So you're getting me at a tearful moment, you guys. It was definitely stressful thinking about it. And so, yeah. Okay. It's really hard to talk about it because obviously when I think about it, it's very sad, right? So of course it's making me want to cry, so I apologize. I'm sure you guys have your moments too, and I don't mind being vulnerable and sharing them with you all because, it's real, right? It's real. We've all had to deal with our journeys and our traumas and our stress and our sadness. And I realized that last year was a tough one because of that. My ex-husband relapsed like hard after that. He sort of disappeared on us. We didn't see him anymore. He was just back out in the streets on these drugs. So it's not the first time that it's happened. We've been dealing with his addictions since 2010, I think 2011. So believe me, it's not our first rodeo of the holiday season without him around. However, it doesn't make it any easier every time it happens. The kids love their dad and they want him to be around, especially in the holidays, right? We didn't hear from him throughout Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I had to go back into go mode and make sure these kids had a great holiday despite any of that. So there's something about me processing the pain much later that just happens. You don't have time. And I'm sure a lot of you moms out there or dads even just can relate to this, but we don't have time to sit and feel the pain ourselves. We have to stay strong and keep everything good for the kids. My middle daughter really had a hard time with it later on too. With the 2020 pandemic coming to an end, her dad relapsing, she lost her grandpa too, and we lost our cat a month prior. It was just a really rough time. She dealt with some depression following that a few months later, and we've had to walk through some stuff with that. So my point to sharing this is wreckage is real. It doesn't stop right when you end your relationship with that person. The wreckage continues because it's like, I look at it as like the domino effect or something. Even though I knew, now mind you, like I've said, I've shared my story as to why I've left my husband, and it was pretty much around that. Like he chose drugs over his family, right? So it's pretty no brainer. But he continued on for years and years, and he still will always struggle with addiction. I'm sure a lot of you that know about addiction just know it's not a quick. You don't get sober and then stop. You're done, one and done. It's a lifetime struggle, and some people don't make it. Some people don't. Some people will continue to relapse and then die. And I wouldn't be surprised if that is the way that one day my ex-husband passes, because I just don't have any faith in the ability to beat some of that stuff sometimes. I've seen him relapse too many times. And it's not that I don't believe in him and that he doesn't want sobriety. I know he does, and he's sober now, right? I'm grateful for that. But anyways, my point is the wreckage is real in a lot of ways post-separation when you have children. And for me, the holidays triggers that because some holidays are great, some are not. And I always want to make sure I create a great holiday memory for my children. I don't want them to remember the holidays as a sad thing because I didn't. I got a chance to have a great life and holidays, and I feel like I've done a good job of doing that, even though it was difficult to do so on my own. So last Christmas, what I did, I thought it was kind of fun because it was pandemic too. So nobody was wanting to come hang out, right? It just, the ship was just flying around the fan everywhere, you know? Uh, and so pandemic was happening. Nobody wanted to visit. It was just me and me plus three. And I decided to book a trip to Colorado to visit my good friend out there with her kids. So we had that to look forward to. So that was super cool. And on the actual day of Christmas, we just hung out, had fun, movies, presents. I did this cool thing. They love Peppa Pig, even though now the two older girls are way too old for it, but it's still like a staple in our home. And so Peppa Pig does Pass the Parcel, right, which is a game that they play it's something I was raised doing. We play Pass the Parcel around. It's a birthday game. You stop the music, the parcel is supposed to be like a present. It's wrapped up in multiple pieces of paper. You stop the music, you open up a layer, and then eventually somebody gets the prize. Anyway, so we did that with Christmas gifts. It was kind of fun, and we did like a whole Peppa Pig Pass the Parcel thing, and I just kind of made it fun and different. And then we had to go to bed early because we had to get up at 3 a.m. to fly to Colorado. So I kept them busy. We did something different. We stepped out of, I did not want to have them sitting there thinking, my dad's not here. I miss him. What the hell happened? You know? So what I did was I did a trip. We went to Colorado and it was snowing out there and we just had a blast. Oh, we also stayed at Great Wolf Lodge one night. That was so fun. So fun. Anyway, my point is, guys, 7 years later, I did not expect to have to deal with that. The holidays without Matt being around and trying to protect my kids' hearts from hurting about that. Nobody signs up for a marriage or a relationship or what have you with kids and expects it to be torn apart or wrecked in any way. You know, we just don't. So to wrap our minds around that and accept it can be really difficult. It can be really difficult. And I have done a good job of doing that. And I really have this last year. Thankfully, I actually was dating somebody last year. We ended that. So that's been good. I've freed my mind of any extra things I need to worry about. We don't need to think about, I didn't need to add any additional wreckage to the wreckage. I mean, I'm painting a picture like my life's a wreck when it's not. It's very put together. I own my own house. I have a good job. I have my kids. They're healthy. My life's fabulous, but sometimes there's wreckage, emotional wreckage, right? That just happens from these relationships and this damage that's been done through the separation. So what do I do to hold on? I clear my plate of all the unnecessary shit I don't need. I don't mean to speak about my ex-boyfriend. Well, we were dating. We were boyfriend and girlfriend for about a year. It wasn't too serious, but I don't mean to call him like shit, but that particular situation with us it didn't end up blossoming. It wasn't that healthy. He wasn't healthy. I wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. So that ended. That was meaning that my plate was cleared of additional emotional things I needed to try to manage, which I couldn't. So, everything's amicable there, nothing bad, nothing drama, but I just realized I need to focus on my kids. I have them full time now. I can't give them to their dad every other weekend. I have to be healthy. I have to be in work and mom mode, and that's it. That's me holding on to, the starboard bow or whatever and floating in the water and saying, this is how I'm going to navigate this wreckage piece. So, and it's been good. And here we are in November. Time has flown by and we've had a great year. The kids started back at school. We got back into a normal routine. I haven't had any boys to worry about. I have had fun with friends and I've just been having a really good year, honestly. I can look back. 2021 has been great. It's been a great comeback year for 2020. 2020 was also great for us, but there was a lot of shit that happened with their dad that I can't ignore that big fat elephant in our room, That's been me making sure I just stay focused on me this last year and join in as much stuff as I can. I started scuba diving. I've been getting back more involved in the music and meeting way more friends from that than I can ever imagine. So I'm so grateful. And, just keeping busy, having fun and making sure I'm always laughing and doing what I love to do and enjoying things. That's it. Like that's been my key to holding on and floating around and not drowning. Which reminds me, scuba diving, by the way. Oh my gosh. I highly recommend you guys trying that. If you haven't, go under that water and swim with the fish. I'm telling you, it's something it's therapy. times a million. So the next thought was relationships. Next, relationships. Bad relationships. Cover up relationships. Fix it relationships. Rebound relationships. Those ones. Yes. The ones we try to do when we're hurting in a bad place and we want to try to fix it by being with somebody else to make us happy. That is just a classic wrecker. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Warning, warning. Stop right there. And you know what? I am no one to talk. I seem to attract people too that are in a very fresh place with that are very comforted by me. So I can fall easily into wanting to be the one to help you in your misery, because I'm empathetic and I'm kind and I'm loving, and also be wary of those. Be wary of you entering and being the rebound for somebody else, not you just rebounding with somebody else. You know, those are really hard things to see. Everyone I know that does it, we've all done it. We do it right after the first thing we do is we get with another person. And let me tell you, like, have you guys ever known anybody? I don't have statistics in front of me or anything, but have you ever seen anybody that's walked into a relationship like that that's lasted, healthy, good, strong? I haven't. I haven't. I mean, actually, I lie. Maybe one or two, but it's usually there's some wreckage and fallout that comes from that. So I don't recommend it. But it's really hard to stay away from wanting another relationship in some form, even if it's just, dating, just having somebody. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is the first time in a while that I've not got somebody that I'm texting with or dating or something. And it feels weird and lonely. I don't like it. But then again, I'm pushing through it. I know it's good for me. And cheers, I'm having some wine. To not have anybody, really. But I'm always there pursuing, in the mission of the pursuit. Meaning, okay, that sounds weird. Like, I've been on the online dating apps. They suck. I hate them. But I'm open to meeting my PP is my point. So I entertain things when I meet a guy or something and I think I like him. I don't want to say I heavily pursue it, but I openly allow it to where I suddenly feel like I'm being more of the pursuer, and I don't like that, because if you pursue it, ladies, it's not going to be the healthiest of dynamics. You got to let him pursue you, just so you know. But those of us like me that are a go-getter type person that like to, get what I want, then that's really hard to do. I'm not going to lie. It really is. I like to go get what I want. And if I want you, I want you. No, but I'm really trying to work not to be that way anymore. So I'm just being patient and sitting in whatever it is you're in and just waiting for fate to come along and bless you. So, and then I catch myself with someone that I'm like, this isn't a good person for me. This sucks. And then I kick myself like, what's wrong with me? Why am I attracting the wrong person? But then it's like, no, Jeanette, you're just being open to it. You're being open to things. You're not pursuing the wrong people. You're being open to something. You're attracted to somebody, and then you find out quickly, and that they're either not the right person, or the timing isn't right, or the stars are not aligning, and you move on. I'd like to just point out that my friend helped me yesterday, Jen, who you all know. We were on the phone yesterday. She was like, Jeanette, no, you're growing because you are seeing things a lot sooner than you would have before, and you're stopping it. You're not carrying on. So I like to celebrate the successes in my growth, I think. But I still see golden girls in my future. I don't know. I'm trying to keep my positive vibes, but I am going to I'd be okay with the fact that if I'm a golden girl, just living my life like a party animal till my 90s, that's okay too. As long as I get, have a good life and treat people with kindness and love, and balance my life out right. Like, don't be too crazy. Don't be Blanche. Then everything's okay with whatever the outcome, But I know that in this journey of singledom, I notice people around me more that have a boyfriend or a husband, and it depresses me. I've been catching myself, like I went out with a friend last night and her boyfriend, and he's a really nice guy, a really great guy. And she was telling me about how great he is. And like another friend of mine, actually, you all know, don't say, she just met a great guy too. Isn't that amazing? Great news story for everybody to hear. But I find myself being like bitter. I find myself being bitter about it, and sad, and like being like, I wish that was me. I wish that was me. That's not fair. Instead of me being happy for them and like, ugh, I just get like, ugh. So, I just know that getting caught up in this desire to meet a special person, I